The end of the school year is approaching, and a lot of times there are issues about whether graduation prayers are legal or illegal. And I'm talking about the big public school graduations, not the optional baccalaureate ones, which may have a religious component to it. But at a public school graduation, here's it simply put. There cannot be a prayer. There cannot be a formal prayer at any of these graduations. The administrators can't lead one. Students can't lead one, as long as you know about it in advance, I suppose. I guess if you wanted to be really sneaky as a Christian, you could always try to, if you're a speaker at the graduation, you can always give your speech and throw a reference to God in there. And a lot of students have done that. But the administration shouldn't be aware that you are going to be religious during your speech, because they should be saying no if they know about that. And by the way, that I would say the same thing for atheists too. You can't just get up there and say, I did this on my own, God doesn't exist. Like, just leave God out of it. But what's really interesting is that at some schools, they think they can just get over all of these legal issues. They can just get rid of the First Amendment by voting for it. So in the Pima Unified School District in Arizona, the students there held a vote about whether or not they wanted a graduation prayer, as if anyone cares. Who cares what you voted? And oh my God, the majority of students said they wanted a prayer. Can you believe it? And so they thought they were going to be able to have a prayer at their public school graduation ceremony. Well, thankfully, their superintendent, Sean Rickert, said, you know what? It doesn't matter what you voted. You still can't do that. Or we're not going to have a graduation prayer at the ceremony, which is absolutely the right call to make. I mean, that's what a superintendent's supposed to do. He made a controversial decision, but it was the right decision, and he made it. And of course, everyone in the community is flipping out. These students seem to think people are taking away their rights, even though the truth is, by voting to get rid of the First Amendment, they were taking away other students' rights. They don't understand that. Maybe they need to take another government class. I don't think they're ready for graduation yet. But the fact is, this superintendent did what so many school administrators we've seen over the years don't do. He stood up to what the popular opinion was, and he said, you know what, even though most of you are Christian, even though you want to say your prayer, you can't do that. Pray before the graduation ceremony. Pray afterwards. Pray during the ceremony in your own mind. The only thing we're saying no to is having a formal prayer, a formal Christian prayer, mind you, in the middle of this ceremony. We're going to make this ceremony inclusive for everybody there, whether or not you're a Christian. And then afterwards, go do whatever you want. That's essentially how we responded. That's how I wish every superintendent would respond. You don't get to overturn the Constitution based on popular vote. The high schoolers should know that. It's the exact same reason you can't just vote to say Bible verses over the loudspeaker every day during morning announcements. And finally, this community should actually consider themselves lucky to have a superintendent like Rickert, because if they were willing to allow this prayer to take place, they would probably be at the losing end of a lawsuit, and they would owe taxpayer money to whoever the plaintiffs are, and that's money that should be spent on these students' education. Maybe more government classes, I don't know. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Please leave your comments below, and we will check them out.